Hello, what's up there? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Spraggy, of course. This is a very upbeat, non-copyrighted audio music. Some jazz music. Some funky jazz music. To bring us back into the first ever video of my definitely going to be continued cash game series. I'm back, that's it. I'm back on YouTube. I've been making some highlights videos, which we have an editor now. I have an editor banging the table here. I have an editor to make cash game stream highlights. And some of you have been enjoying those, but I thought I may as well put some other content up on the channel. So we are today going to play some 25 cent, 50 cent cash game poker right here on YouTube. We're just going to, same old thing. We're going to do 25, 30 minutes of unedited cash game poker, talk through it. I'm watching a lot of poker vlogs at the moment. I'm watching a lot of live poker players at the moment who primarily play cash games. And pretty interesting. I don't think live poker's ever going to die, is it? I don't think live poker's ever going to die. If you're playing 2-5, 5-5, it seems I'm seeing some games in wherever they're running at the moment, Vegas, Texas, Florida. Games always look good. And I'm enjoying some YouTube poker vlogging content. So I'm getting involved. I'm going to get involved in the YouTube poker community, and we will throw up some cash game videos. No schedule, no promises. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. What are you doing? Sub, and we'll see how it goes. I have played some. I did a long stream. I did like I don't know how long this session was. We played 5,400 hands, which of course, if you're playing as a live poker player, as you see some of your favorites here on YouTube playing live, this actually takes about 16 years to complete this sample of hands. But as you can see, we played 25 cent, 50 cent. It went pretty well. This is a 5,000 hand sample. We ended up plus $72. All in EV, plus $342. This is where we'd have ran if we'd have ran as we were supposed to run. But we lost some very big all-ins, and it wasn't to be. But we won 1.5 binds over 5,000 hands. We should have won 7 binds. So I'm fairly confident. I haven't played cash games properly for years. I used to be a full-time cash game player. I haven't played cash games properly for years and years and years and years. I played tournaments on Twitch. But I jumped into this 25 cent, 50 cent game, and I'm pretty sure I can beat it, given what I saw. But I'm rusty. This is my first cash game session in months and months and months. So I'm going to use these videos just to play some cash games, keep myself fresh at 100 big blind poker, entertain you lot, hopefully, and see if we can win some money. See what the 25 cent, 50 cent Zoom game looks like. And just, I want to talk about things that are happening in poker and just happening in general. And today we'll talk a little bit about YouTube vloggers. Might dip in and out because I'm watching lots of those. I'm going to fire some shots at all the YouTube vloggers because that's good clickbait. And then I'll say something. What happens is I'll say something disparaging about your favorite YouTube vlogger. And then someone will say to them on Twitter, hey, Brad, Owen, Spraggy's talking about you on YouTube. And then Brad will make like a reply video, like drama alert sort of thing. Oh, Spraggy called me out and said that, you know, whatever. And then back and forth, we both get more views, clicks, ad revenue. You know what I'm talking about. Then it doesn't matter if I'm losing in this game or not, because I'm getting the old YouTube dollar, baby. Or not. We might just play a couple tables of 25 cent, 50 cent. So I don't want to edit these. I don't have to fuck around with editing any of these. So I'm just careful with what I'm showing here on my recording, because I've got absurd amounts of stuff that you can't see, and I don't want to like switch the scene and then it pops up and it's private messages, DMs, I'm speaking to people, you know, whatever, sending back and forth, and all of a sudden things are on YouTube that shouldn't be on YouTube. So what happens if I press, actually I have a studio mode. Oh, this is a big sweat. Nothing happened. This is just my nice overlay for us to play cash games on, even though it says Micro Millions at the top there, because I played tournaments today, and out of 23,000 runners, I came like 28th in this event. But what we're going to do is we're going to change that title to $50 cash game. Whoop, whoop. All right, it's not, oh, we don't want this to be like too high energy. I'm a very low energy kind of guy. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, so we sit down. We've got $50 on this table. And I think it's best that we play probably 2 tables. Because just better, innit? More action. More action, please. What am I supposed to do with 6-3? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to 3-bet. Let's lay down a marker right here, right now, right? This is how we mean to go on. We're going to chuck out a 3-bet to $4.50. Stream. You are on YouTube. Please subscribe. Now, what you will find is if you're new to my content that I am a Pokerstars sponsor player. So a lot of people, and obviously with the stream, I stream on Twitch, a lot of people will probably say hi on the tables. I'm going to ignore them because I am scum and I don't want to be bothered. People often come up to me in the street and they say, how do I pronounce your name? Is it Spraggy, Spraggy? I say, and you know what? I say the same thing to everybody. How dare you talk to me? Ace King Deuce is kind of my board, right? Like, I have aces, I have kings, I have ace king, right? Like, this is kind of my board. So I'm going to bet when I have a hand that is not connecting with it, but in general, my range will. There's going to be some pot control from me if I have a hand like ace, jack, ace, queen, since I chop with all worse aces now. I don't feel like I would be doing too much betting of those. When the ace of hearts and the king of hearts on board, it also takes out some of my flushes, since I would 3-bet some... Right, if this is like 6-7 deuce with hearts, I still have all the ace high flushes and king high flushes. I don't have that here. So I think there's going to be some checking from me. I think there's going to be some bluffing at rivers, since I have fucking 6 high. Which is not good. A king feels like a slightly better card for him than it does for me. Because I'm not sure I'm going to bet all of my... I'm not sure I'm going to bet all of my king X on the flop. I might do some checking. I definitely still have ace jack ace 10 in that, and my kicker would start playing again right now, right? So I'm going to make a bluff. We're trying to fold out like queen jack, queen 10. Don't think we fold out too much ace X. Pretty fun hand to start the session with though, isn't it? Ace deuce is a full house. It's very difficult to get that hand to fold. We are playing on another table. We 3-bet ace queen. Flop went check, check. Turn went check, check. They're never folding a king. They don't have many pairs in the hand. We got the nut no pair. I'm going to check. I'm not folding out any better hands in this spot. We are going to end up chopping. This is $50 cash game. Table 2. Table 2. Table 2. We're all set up, right? Table 1. Has an exclamation mark. Table 2 is table 2. So for those of you who don't know how Zoom works, maybe you're new to watching this, as soon as you don't want to play a hand, like we don't want to play ace 8, we fold and we move to the next table. We move to another lineup of 6 players. And just a reminder, I'm a pretty competent poker player. I played full time for like 12 years, but I haven't played cash games in a long time. So like this, in a tournament, I'm never folding, but in a cash game, there's no antes to win. There's rake when you see a flop. So like, I don't know if this is defend, but it's a bit silly to fold. And we flop very well. And over here, blind versus blind at 100 big blinds deep. I'm probably looking to 3-bet the ace jack suited blind versus blind as well, aren't I? We'll do that. Back to my jack 4. We're going to continue the call. I don't think I want to check raise. I have a fair amount of showdown value versus a cutoff open and c-bet. I can see rivers, given that I have the additional equity. So if they choose to bluff a hand like queen 9 here, or queen jack here, or ace jack here, then, you know, I'm able to see a river pretty comfortably with my spades. That's what we'll do. And we will see that river. It's a pretty bad one, king. And he checks back trips, which is quite tight. I don't know if that's normal. Doesn't seem normal. And at this stack depth, I think I'm going to open to whatever this sizing is, 2.5. 2.5. Not going to fold when we get 3-bet. We got ace 2 suited in position. Seems like a call. Flop ace high. Hi, mate. How do we lose? Name a hand that beats us. I don't think you can. There are lots of hands that beat us, but we're not going to fold just yet. I'm not entirely sure I know what a big blind, 100 big blind 3-bet range looks like here. I'd imagine it's got a lot of suited stuff in it. Probably should be 3-betting some like 8-6 suited and the like. Not sure there'd be too many offsuit combos. At 100 big blinds deep, I know like 40 to 50, you want to be 3-betting some like king 7 off, queen queen 6 off, shit like that. Which means they probably don't have many hands that have just got like a bare spade in them. I'm going to call one more. The problem for this at the river is I don't have many offsuit hands that call in position either. So it's hard for me to get here with like queen jack with 1 spade or king queen with 1 spade. It's very tough for me to represent that, isn't it? Isn't it? But at the same time, they really check too many flushes. If they don't have too many offsuit hands, then they're just going to get here with like suited ace-x. And if they have a suited ace-x, it ain't spades, which means they ain't going to have a flush. I'll go all in. Because I don't think they... Whew! Mate, I'm not even publishing this video. I'm not even publishing this video because my opponent just checked with the nuts and I stupidly bluffed off my whole stack into them, right into their face. I did not expect them to check if they had the king of spades. I expected them to just make value bets, since checking and making money on the king of spades requires me doing one of 2 things. Either I make value bets with lesser spades, and I don't have too many. Since I don't have too many offsuit combos, maybe I have ace queen with a queen of spades. Or it requires me turning hands into bluffs. And I would imagine that they don't expect me to turn a hand that calls flop and turn into a bluff too often. Yet they did check, and they trapped me, and they got me very good. And we lose 50 bucks. And that's just, it's just shit, isn't it? Quite frankly, not ideal. But, you know, if you're not bluffing, you're not trying. If you're not bluffing, you're not trying. We came in here with the ace-jack of clubs. Flopped pretty well. Ace of clubs. Did not flush draw. We can do one or 2 things here. It is a spot where our opponent is very limited in the flushes that they can have. Since they're under the gun open. A lot of their suited under the gun opens are going to have the ace, and I have it. I'm in the big blind. I've got a lot of suited hands. So we can represent a lot of flushes. I think it's fine either way. Either to call or to check raise with the ace of clubs. We're going to just check raise and yeah. How about the ace deuce of hearts? Welcome back to YouTube. Now I have all the people in the comments saying, why am I watching this guy? He called with ace deuce of hearts and then just fucking blasted the river. Bad bluff, etc. But I could be convinced that it's not, right? So often he's going to get there with the suited ace king, ace queen, ace jack, ace 10 even at that depth. And it's diamonds, hearts, or clubs, which don't like the 4th spade and folds. Obviously not hearts because I had the ace of hearts, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But alas, a trapper. I said I would talk a little bit about YouTube. Poker, since it's kind of what inspired me, I guess, to start making content again. Not really. Like I've wanted and been meaning to make cash game content again. As a cash game player, I do miss occasionally playing cash games, and I really should be doing more on YouTube because a load of people love watching poker on YouTube. Aces and queens, mate. Guns and moises. Raise 3-bet. That's going to be me making the cold 4-bet. And we would play for all of the chips. Of course, in a button, small blind, big blind, it's a very aggressive situation. Ship it. Over here, we 3-bet. We got a cold call from Virgil van Dijk. We check back 10-10 deuce. And we are going to pot the turn. I don't think I'm allowed to overbet the turn since I don't really have a 10. But looks like a good turn card for me to pot and try and maximize value since I don't have the ace of spades. My opponent can have nut flush draws. My opponent's going to have a lot of hands like king queen and ace queen as well. So we go for the max there and they just fold. Blind versus blind at 100 big blinds. We get 3-bet with 9-9. I have no history with these players, but my intuition would lead me to think that this is a 4-bet and a call off. Am I being too ambitious about the aggression in the 50NL Zoom streets? I also have the benefit of like, I am a known player and people probably expect me to be quite aggressive and probably play back at me a little bit. This hand calling out a position seems a bit miserable. Cash out or resume hand. I think I'll take my chances. I'm so bad at this game. What a sweat. Are we really down $100 now? Looks like blind versus blind. We're just going to run to the aces. It feels coolery to me. It certainly feels like a cooler. But it might be over ambitious. Calling just... I mean, we could call pre. It does seem a little bit less fun. We'll 4-bet again since we actually have the aces this time. And this is looking all kinds of great. Seems like a situation we should just bet super duper small. I'm loving this. They're just going to have 10s or kings. We're making stacks here. If there's ever a chance that they just click this on the flop with like king, queen of spades, I want them to keep clicking around. So I'm just going to click call and slow play. I don't see anything I don't like. Hopefully they just jam jacks or queens and we snap and win. And life is good. Okay. That is a 3 and a 4. Unsuited. I'm not going to play it. I know that player just played it. Which is not the queens or kings or jacks that we might have been expecting in a 4-bet pot raising 6-4-6. In their defense, they made a pair. Does this work? Welcome to Spraggy Rewind. Let's relive that wonderful moment. I raise, they 3-bet. At 4-bet, they decide now is the time to see a flop. I bet very small, they raise. They actually turn a fair amount. It's a pretty good turn for them. Straight draw. Check. All in. Gotcha. So we were down a buy-in, down 2 buy-ins. And then we got one back. What I can do is put the graph onto today. Oh, kapai, there it is. That's our session so far. So this was 9s versus aces. We lost the other one when I bluffed it off with ace-2s because I'm an idiot. And then we got it back with aces versus 4-3 off. One of those hands was not like the other. Bluffing here in a blind spot's good. Oh yeah, poker bloggers. Who have I been watching? I've been watching some Brad Owen. Brad Owen was down in Florida at the hotel that looks like a guitar, which doesn't seem very practical at all. But there you have it. Brad Owen lost. I believe had a pretty bad session there, and then last vlog I watched he had a winning session. Must have been a very soft game. I think he was back in Vegas. And Brad Owen like flatted pre-flop with ace king because it was some outrageous hand. Anyway, watch Brad Owen's vlogs, they're great. I love Brad. And I'm just giving him shit for fun. I've also been watching The Trooper. Been watching some of The Trooper, who's makes daily vlogs, and just him. I think a lot of it is Marley, who, if you guys are not aware, Marley is a vlogger, poker player, and my fiance. Now, if you only watch me on YouTube, you may not be aware of that, but we got engaged. Anyway, she is from Vegas and she is missing Vegas, and so she is living vicariously through Vegas-based poker vlogs, which is why we've been enjoying The Trooper, sort of daily updates from his grind and life in Vegas and whatnot, and they are they're good. I don't know, it's nice. It's nice to get like a taste of Vegas life. And we've also been watching Rampage Poker, who won a WSOP bracelet and is playing some 5-5, 5-10 cash games, some very, 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 very good cash games from what I can see. That is kind of my inspired, like, live poker will never die. Can I value bet ace king high? Get called by worse ace high. This is some fun music, isn't it? In a 3-bet pot here, I'd imagine my opponent has bet all the pairs at the river, since my hand is pretty face up as ace high. Makes me think they just have like ace jack, ace queen. I'm gonna try and get value. They snap fold. Well, you do you, mate. You do you. Don't let me stop you. I don't really know. Yeah, so that's my YouTube vlog rundown. I'm enjoying those vlogs. Marley's enjoying those vlogs. I don't really have a lot else to say. But I will say this. The 50 no limit zoom pool here is going to obviously play very different to a live game. I think a lot of the live games I'm seeing in those vlogs are incredibly, like, ridiculously soft. And online games just in general, a little tougher, certainly at relative stakes. Like a 1-2 online game is going to be infinitely tougher than 1-2 live, which is like the splashiest live stake. I guess, like, I don't want to 4-bet at all, really, with the 7s. Calling looks good to me, 3-5-3. The problem with 7s is it's always very vulnerable. Robot might like a raise here. In a solve, you might see 7s just raising flop. Mightn't you? One of those hands that's going to be good a lot in a blind versus blind 3-bet. Benefits from protection. But I'm not really sure how these games play and, like, if people are finding all the 3-bets that they should. And we're just going to start with some calling. Meanwhile, on table 1, I have 3-bet 10-8 of diamonds. It went raise. It went call. I 3-bet. The original opener folded. And the caller called. Pretty good board for me to bet, I think. Have some backdoors. Have all the strong aces in my range. Can fold out some, like, queen jack of hearts and things like that. And that's always a good result for me. Over here, we face a double barrel. We're going to call. And really comes down to making decisions at the river. Blind versus blind, 3-bet pot. Don't need to make a decision. 7s are good. We will look what they had in a minute.
Okay.
This is interesting. I think it's probably considered quite an underbluff turn, since it's very easy to just think that your opponent has ace-x when they call on the flop. That is not going to be true, though. I still have all the strong ace-x. I don't block clubs, so my opponent can conceivably call some clubs, fold some rivers if we decide we want to triple. My suit's probably not the best. Because... Where's my replay? With me. My suit's probably not the best because I want my opponent to have floated some backdoor diamonds that will fold occasionally. So if my opponent has something like king 10, queen 10, jack 10 of diamonds that call with their backdoors, like, they can't have that when I have this hand. So it feels like it would be better for me to barrel this hand as a bluff if I had, like, the spades or the hearts. Since we could get king 10, queen 10, jack 10 of diamonds with the backdoor to fold. Or like 7, 8 of diamonds to fold. Or like 8, 9 of diamonds to fold. So having the diamonds, having the backdoor of this suit seems like a poor choice for me to bluff with, actually. But having said that, it worked, so there's always that. We also want to see what our opponent had when we won with the 7s. And let's do that. If you'd come into my office again, we have the 7s here. We'll replay the whole hand. Raise, 3-bet, call, check, call, check, barrel, call. River's a queen, and I don't know. I'm going to have some queens. I'm going to have queen x of spades, queen x of diamonds, peeling flop, peeling turn with a flush draw. But I would say that if they get here with king high, they probably want to bluff this card. Like, they probably have more queens barreling than I have calling. They have king high, they're never going to win a showdown. I have a lot of awkward hands like 5-6 and ace-5 and probably king 5 and a 3-bet pot blind versus blind. 7s isn't great if they bet the river here for, like, if they shove the river, right? They're the 3-better, they still want to shove kings and aces. Queen X probably still want to shove some jacks, 10s. So I do think maybe king 10 ought to be a bluff for them, especially when they unblock suits. So, like, I can have spades and fold, I can have diamonds and fold, like, if I have ace-high spades, right? It sucks for this to go check-check and I have, like, ace-9 of spades. That sucks for them. So I do think maybe king 10 should have been a bluff. I timed out talking about that hand and then checked the flop with kings. Never a good idea. We raise turn. I want to bring these videos in about 25-30 minutes. I've had fun so far. I've had a great time so far. And we've been on 24 minutes already. Flying through it. We decide to check raise jack 9 of clubs here with the wraparound the backdoor 8 of clubs because I have more 3x in my range in the big blind. Although, with all things considered, I probably don't defend as much 3x as I do in a tournament, so might not be as good. Blind versus blind, flop and ace, very wide ranges. Very good hand. And we have a lot of stuff just drawing dead on the flop, right? Oh, an overbet. An overbet. Rarely seen. Maybe it's more commonly seen in the 15L streets these days. Weapon of choice, isn't it? I think it's a really good hand for us to continue with. I don't think we should... Obviously, we can defend tighter versus the bigger size. But I don't see any reason to fold with ace-5. My opponent does have ace-king where I don't. They could certainly be leveraging that advantage. And just bluffing some backdoor clubs. Bluffing some jack-10, queen-10, queen-jack. Or they could just have it. They could have ace-3, ace-7, ace-king. When they check, I'd imagine this is a spot where we're always good. I don't imagine they have much like overbet value on the turn that checks, like ace-10. They probably just value bet again. Do I want to bet? I don't think so. The reason I'm not going to bet is because I don't think they overbet like a king on the turn and then are able to call river bets, because like who would overbet a king on the turn, right? Why would you do that? It has showdown value. It doesn't want to, if it's going to get value, it doesn't want to go big. So when they check, as I said, they're probably just going to have a lot of queen-10, that sort of hand. Exactly what they had, the gut shot, which isn't going to call. Or occasionally they're going to have some like weird check traps or weird check raises. So I don't think ace-5 really wants to bet once we've seen the overbet on the turn. Oh, God. I just can't say no to a 4-bet with queen 10-0. I've seen better players than myself use a hand of this hand class, queen 10 offsuit, as a 4-bet. So I'm going to do it. And they 3-bet, they fold. If I had to guess, I would say that at this limit, you're going to see a lot of people who know to 3-bet light, but are not really sure how to deal with 4-bets, not really sure how to construct that range, right? Like they know that you want to 3-bet a lot. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit to the 15L Zoom pool. I think a lot of 15L regulars will be doing that, but I think there's a lot of... I'm currently recording this late on a Friday night, so there's probably a lot of players who know to 3-bet, but aren't too hot on 4-betting. At this stack depth, we want to big bet, I think, the ace-high boards. I don't have too many flushes here because the ace is blocked and the queen is blocked. I do have some. My opponent has more. I do not like barreling these spots super hard, but I am going to make a delayed bluff given the speed of the river check. I think my opponent has just a lot of 7x. It's very, very easy story to tell that I pot control the turn with an ace and are happy to value bet it now. That's the story I'm going to tell when I have just king high. I think this is the best hand they have, top of the range. There's a lot of 7x in there still. Some occasional queen x that floats flop and makes a pair. I do think I want to bluff my king high even. But they check an ace, they're going to do that. It's a nice play by them. And they win. We get 3-bet here with a 7 of diamonds. We're going to peel in position. Flop is good, really good. 7 deuce deuce. That is obviously nice for me. Don't think my opponent ever really has a deuce. Maybe ace deuce suited occasionally, and I block the diamonds so they could have ace deuce of spades for one combination. Very, very minuscule part of their range. Obviously, we're worried about 9s or 8s through aces, but certainly going to continue. Pretty interesting board because it's one of those where you could definitely argue that some players are going to underbluff because they get into a headspace that's like, no one's going to fold a full house, so I'm not going to try and bluff them off a full house. River plays itself is a great river for us. It'd be really interesting if this is like a 4 and he shoves though. And the reason for that is obviously a 3-bet range has... Great river for us. Obviously a 3-bet range has 10s, jacks, queens, and kings in it, and my flank range might not. So they are occasionally just going to be, you know, firing off with the expectation that I don't have any of the big pairs in my range when I just flat the 3-bet. So actually I can be bluffed. Like the best hand I have there might be 8s, 9s, a 7, right? And if they have all the strong hands and I don't, maybe they just like fire and try and leverage that range advantage. In this case, they had it, and then I had better, eventually. Now, interesting that they jammed the river. I don't necessarily hate it. It is somewhat difficult for me to get to the river with an ace, since I called twice. I have ace 7 suited that does that, the hand that I had. But it's somewhat difficult for me to just peel ace high 2 times. So they may feel like their jacks are still good against my 7x, 8s, 9s, 10s. and they go for the value bet. Unfortunately for them, this time I'm right where I need to be at the top of my range. River the ace and make a stack. Here we 3-bet 9-7, and I did not realize, because I'm fling on. Be a fun hand to finish on. We 3-bet, we c-bet. This player's got no dollars behind, and we have 9 high, but we do have a gut shot, and it's only $4 more, so good luck us. If they fold, I'll give you the money myself. We have a 9, a 7, or a 6 to round out the video. A queen? I can't win on a queen. I can't win on a queen, but I did rally some stacks in general. We will sit out our next big blind. I want to get my value. I don't want to be sitting out before I get free hands in. So we will do that. I hope you guys enjoyed this first foray back into the cash game streets here on YouTube. Dishing out some of my strategic thoughts. I'm going to get used to playing in this 50 Zoom pool a little bit more. We're going to try and find out how the population plays, what adjustments I would make, what adjustments I would recommend that perhaps you make if you are playing cash games, if at 50 Zoom or below. I wanted to start back at 50 Zoom because it's a reasonable limit to play, right? Like, it's kind of a fun limit to play, rather than start low as we did before. Gonna call this 3-bet on the bottom with ace queen O. Gonna do fine. In general, it's really tough, like really tough to want to fold many, if any, hands in position in 3-bet pots. Like, even without any backdoor spades or clubs, I still think versus this size, my ace queen just wants to see turns. On this texture, it's getting more and more coordinated. I think there's a good chance that we would have folded to a barrel with this hand. As played, I'm going to check. Can't just start firing off everything, and don't necessarily need to just fire off the ace queen high. We still have showdown value here. Give it a check. I think I take it. And they have queen jack, which is top pair. So actually, we've seen this player do a couple things, and just to make some notes, if I was a diligent note taker, which I'm going to try to be. This is the player who 3-bet me with 7s, right, in a 3-bet pot. So you would say something like blind v blind, blind versus blind. I caps lock. Didn't fire third street, king 10 heart heart, and the board was like 5 3 5 8 2-tone queen. So they didn't find the bluff in the 3-bet pot. And then like 3-bet queen jack suited, big blind versus button, check, 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 turn, river, jack 6 4 8 8. Over here on table 2, I called 4-bet ace king, flops 10 9 6, I check, and they pot. I'm gonna fold. Sorry, jack 6 4 8 8, and that's just gonna tell me that, like, I don't know, I guess when they barrel a turn like this, they're gonna be pretty bluff heavy. Like, if they're not value betting their jacks, then they're pretty polarized, right? They're either gonna have, I guess, queens, kings, or aces, or just a bunch of bluffs. And it feels like a spot where it's very easy to have bluffs, since you can bluff all your straight draws, flush draws, gut shots, and the like. So I'm not sure what this check, turn, and river is going to do for their overall range. Seems like it would be not ideal. It's going to make their barreling range perhaps a little bit bluff heavy, which is going to make some of my cooldowns easier in this 3-bet situation. And then blind versus blind, maybe I just play river a little snug, given that they didn't find the bluff on this board, where I think the queen's a pretty good bluff card for them. Anyway, that's probably something like the note I would take. We did just lose $15 back here with a cold 4-bet, but let's check in on our final results for the session. Oh my god, I won. I won. We had a pretty disastrous start. We dropped, straight away, we dropped 2 and a bit buy-ins with the ace deuce of hearts bluff, and then we ran 9s into aces here, blind v blind, which may have been a bit of a wild one. Aces versus 4-3 off. Don't know how I got away with that. Then we won a series of small pots, all the way, grinding back up, and then we won a big pot there with, is this pocket 7s? This is the pocket 7s, blind versus blind. And then just lost a bit back. We were up $40 at the end here, and this was a 4-bet, and a couple of other pots, whatever. We won $1.42, but we played some interesting hands, spoke some interesting strategy. Oh no, sorry, I won with A7. I made a full house with A7, they had jacks. What am I talking about? 138 hands in the books, a profit of $1.42. As you can see, that was my, what did I play here? I don't want you looking at that. I don't know what I was playing. This is my all stakes graph for cash games that I played. Obviously, I'm not playing any. I think I did some 2 cent, 5 cent videos for you before. I did like a marathon 2 cent, 5 cent session or something. What I wanted was the 50NL zoom. There it is. As you can see, we just played 138 hands in half an hour. The session I played was 5,000 hands. We're up slightly. But that was a fun session. It's good to be back. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, do whatever. If you want more of them, make sure you support and tell me you want me to do more of them. Otherwise, I'll just end up giving up again. But I don't want to give up. I want to just put out like 3, 4, 5 of these a week. So there's just a big catalog of you guys to watch and hopefully pick some stuff out of. I'm keen to spread some. Hopefully, like I have some poker knowledge to impart with you. I think that people who enjoy the live poker vlogs might enjoy watching some cash games on here, and that would be great. And if you have any questions, comments, queries, whatever stuff you'd like to see, stuff that you disagree with in this video, feel free to jump in the comments and we can talk hands. I'll be in the comments as much as I can. That's it. Follow me everywhere. Twitter @Spraggy. Subscribe to this channel. Twitch, if you're not watching there already, you probably are. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Cheers, see you later.